Hi, I'm E.D. Lewis, and welcome back to my channel, E.D. Lewis Reviews. Happy Halfoween-a-thon. I know it's a little, late to be wishing that. I mean, it's the last day of Halfoween-a-thon, but still. This is going to be a review and a slight update, kind of wrap-up of Halfoween-a-thon at the end of the video, so stay tuned for that after the review. And, warning, really quick. Warning. There may be some strong-ish language. Not too strong, but a little strong-ish. So I hope nobody's offended by that. If you are, I'm sorry. But I kind of have to in this case because, well, we'll get there. So, anyway. So, first off, for our review, I'm reviewing a book I read, I think it was earlier this month is when I read it. It was either late last month or earlier this month, I don't know. No, it was earlier this month, because before I started the Halfoween-a-thon stuff. I am reviewing the 1987 V.C. Andrews classic, Garden of Shadows. It is the 5th book in the Dollenganger series, which you can see behind me, right there. Not that I have all the books in the series, that's mostly my V.C. Andrews shelf, in a way, I guess. It is the 5th book. It is a prequel to Flowers in the Attic. Let's see, this is the 3rd book I've read by V.C. Andrews, because I've read the first one, the 8th one, which is a direct sequel. Some people don't consider it, and that's fine. And now number 5. I will eventually read the 2nd book in the series, but not yet. So this one is about the grandmother, Olivia Foxworth, who we meet her as as a young woman. She's very tall. One of the characters mentions that she's not beautiful, but she's attractive. She's very intelligent. She has a degree in accounting. And, I guess she's kind of a wallflower in many ways. But she ends up meeting the very, the young and attractive, very charismatic, Malcolm Neil Foxworth. Southern gentleman from Virginia. So, he impresses both her father and her, and they become engaged and married quite quickly. She is spirited away to Foxworth Hall. She's expecting her marriage to be full of romance and excitement and stuff. And she finds when she arrives at the Gothic mansion that things are not what she thought they'd be. She is thrust into a loveless marriage with absolutely no passion, and the horrors of disappointment and the horrors of the Foxworths. So she enters into this world where the servants and everybody kind of look down upon her because she's so plain, and she, discovers that her husband has this strange obsession with his mother and keeps this kind of secret-ish room. It's not really secret, but it's forbidden. It's a forbidden room. Where there's this, particular swan bed, if you're familiar with the first book and familiar with the series. And he has this really creepy obsession with his mother. He throws these grand parties where he introduces Olivia to Virginia society, and they talk so badly about her because they're like, someone's so plain. Why would Malcolm marry a plain girl like that instead of someone that's, beautiful and kind of ditzy in many ways, because a lot of the women in the society that she meets are kind of ditzy and stuff, and they're obsessed with fashion and whatnot, things that she's not really that interested in. Well, Malcolm kind of proves to be kind of a bastard because some of the things he puts her through, and he is pretty much what causes Olivia to become this, stern, horrible woman, really, that we meet in Flowers in the Attic. I mean, she's a very sympathetic character. I don't agree with everything she does, but I understand many of the things that she does and why she has become so. I mean, she could have done some things differently and prevented some things, but other things she couldn't. And so I sympathize so greatly with her. It's a shame that she became the character she becomes in Flowers in the Attic, but then again, she wouldn't be so iconic then. But she becomes this very strong woman during all this, though, that's the upside. The downside is, Flowers in the Attic. But yeah, and things get even worse for her when Malcolm's father, her father-in-law, Garland, shows up with his wife, who is younger than Malcolm, Alicia, and she's one of these very beautiful. She's kind and stuff, and she's not like the others, but she is kind of naive in many ways. But she is beautiful and kind and young. And this causes all kinds of new problems that lead into the Flowers in the Attic business. All in all, I thought it was a good book. It does have some inconsistencies with the other book. Like, there's if you remember the dollhouse from the first book, it's mentioned at the start of the book when Olivia is a little girl, but it's never really mentioned later on, except for when she's the one telling the story, by the way, and she compares things to life at Oxford Hall to basically being like the dollhouse. And some name things like Corinne's name, like the spelling of the name Corinne, and her first son Malcolm, who named after his father, their nickname for him is a little different than what Corinne said in the first book, and just some of the other things, which I think it kind of proves that Corinne's full of shit. Some of the things that she tells Christopher and Kathy in Flowers in the Attic is just not true, apparently. And I'm not really surprised, because Corinne was a liar anyway. But, I mean, I kind of believe Kathy to be a little bit of an unreliable narrator, but Corinne's far worse. So, and, I mean, I like the character of Kathy from Flowers in the Attic, but Corinne, I don't like the character of Corinne. I think we've basically proven she's full of shit, basically. And I really liked Olivia in this book. Although I didn't agree with some of the things she did, I did really like the character of Olivia. So, anyway. This was actually, I think this is the first book in the Flowers in the Attic series that is written entirely by Andrew Niederman. Supposedly it's based off of outlines and notes left behind by V.C. Andrews, so I don't know, but there are some contradictions, but all in all, it's enjoyable, so do check it out. Now, Halfoween-a-thon, really quick. So, by the way, if anybody wants to comment down below what they read for Halfoween-a-thon, I'd love to hear it. I mean, I'm not the host of Halfoween-a-thon, but I'm always curious to find out what other people are reading, and especially for, this awesome challenge created by Spinebreakers, this readathon. So, I'm not done with Halfoween-a-thon. There's been some things that have gotten in my way for reading and kind of interrupted my reading, but I got through 4 of the 5 challenges. I'm still working on the first challenge, though, which was to read a book and watch the adaptation. I'll watch the adaptation tonight. This is the novelization. This is Bram Stoker's Dracula, the novelization of the Coppola film, not the original book, which I've already read, of course. I haven't finished with this novelization. I'm only, that far in. So, but I'm enjoying it. I've seen the movie many times. I'll watch it again tonight for the challenge, but I won't get to finish it tonight, so unfortunately, finish the book, that is, so that's unfortunate. But I will finish it, and I'll do a review on it. Not all these will I do reviews on. Challenge number 2 was to read a book about a monster, so I chose Dark Shadows Year 1 from Dynamite Comics, the graphic novel by Mark Andreyko. I'm guessing that's how his name is pronounced. It is a retelling in comic book form of the origin of Barnabas Collins. I will do a review on this as well, so I'm not going to say much on it, but it was enjoyable, and I have already rated it on Goodreads. I read it pretty quickly. I would have probably gotten it done quicker if I just, stayed up and finished it that night, but I did get it done. I think challenge number 3, because I get 3 and 4 mixed around, I'm pretty sure this was challenge number 3, was to read a book by a BIPOC author. I read a short story. I wouldn't have had time to read a full book, obviously, since I'm still working on another one for the challenge. So I picked a selection from local haunts. I read the story, The Room Within by D.L. Tillery, who is a HorrorTube booktuber, and she's also in here, as well as many of my other fellow booktubers, as well as yours truly, so do check this out. I can't say much about the story because it is so short, but it was very creepy and atmospheric, and it was very well written. I really enjoyed it, and there was a part in the story that kind of made me cringe, so that's a good sign. So, it was very good. It's about a man named Daniel who buys his house for an outrageously cheap price for the type of house it is. It's a steal, and then he hears a mysterious voice when he finally gets to go into his new home. That's all I can say. So do check out Local Haunts, do check out D.L. Tillery's writings, and do check out her channel. So this is kind of a shout out to her as well. I will link her channel in the description. Challenge number 4 was to read a book with blood on the cover. So I read the graphic novel version from Marvel Comics from the 70s, Dracula. And it's a very good adaptation of the book. Pretty much a lot of the things that happen in the book are, and then there is at least one scene that I can remember off the top of my head. One particular scene that's not in here from the book. But all in all, it cuts everything down. It has a lot of the language from the novel, but it is cut down quite a bit. And but I mean, it's a straightforward illustrated version of the novel, and it's very good. And originally it was published in the 70s in like 4 issues, and it was in black and white. This is a colorized version, which I will quickly show some of the illustrations. They colorized it when they collected it as a whole work, and it's very good. So if you like the novel and you like graphic novels and comic books, you'd enjoy this. And for the last challenge was to read a short horror story. So I read The Outsider by H.P. Lovecraft. I could have combined a couple of these challenges, but I didn't. I went for all 5. And I will do a review on this, the short story from this collection, Waking Up Screaming. And it is another gothic horror tale, and I can't say much about it because it's pretty short too, but I will talk about it in my review. So, it's a little longer than the D.L. Tillery, so I could definitely say more about it, but I'm not going to say anything in this video because I'm going to do a review on it. But that was kind of my Halfoween-a-thon wrap-up. I will get to read a little bit tonight, but I have other things to do as well. So that was my review for the 1987 book Garden of Shadows by V.C. Andrews, as well as a kind of update and wrap-up of Halfoween-a-thon. So, have a great night, stay safe, have a great May Day tomorrow. Happy May Day to everybody. This is my last video of April, and I will see you in the month of May, the lusty month of May. So anyway, bye-bye.